Sunday, sunny, breezy, high of 95. Be at the D-backs Giants game this Saturday, May 14th for Star Wars night and get a soft-style Star Wars t-shirt. Visit dbacks.com. I'm meteorologist John Weatherby.
Right now it's 96 degrees and the Dow is down 173 points at 17,547. NASDAQ is down 22 at 47.15. The S&P 500 down 17 at 2,046. Reporting for Money Radio, I'm Ken Morgan.
The views expressed on the following program do not necessarily reflect the views of Money Radio staff, management, or advertisers, and do not represent an offer to buy or sell any securities. Some interviews heard on this program may be sponsored by the participants. It's time for Health Futures with Cypress Home Care Solutions, Bob Roth. This is Arizona's only show dedicated to providing you with expert advice on how to live a longer, healthier, and happier life. To learn more, call 602-264-8009. That's 602-264-8009. Now, here's your host, Bob Roth.
Good afternoon. My name is Bob Roth, and you're listening to Health Futures, Taking Stock in You. We're a weekly show found right here on Money Radio, 1510 AM, 99.3 FM, and on the World Wide Web at moneyradio1510.com. And today is Friday the 13th, and we are enjoying the really hot weather that we've grown accustomed to here in Arizona. It's hard to believe that it feels like summer. It's supposed to be like 101 degrees today. But we got sunshine, and we're coming at you live from the air park. If you're just tuning in, this show is called Health Futures because we are about how our aging adult population can live a healthier, happier life. My family and I, we own a home care agency here in the Valley called Cypress Home Care Solutions. We're in our 23rd year, and what do? We provide caregivers into the home. And these are caregivers that are thoroughly background checked. They're trained. We have a caregiver training lab in our offices where we teach them skill sets to be better caregivers for the people that they care for. And we deploy them out into our community to enable our aging adult population to be able to stay at home and age in place. And that's something we're going to talk about today, aging in place. And how do we do that? We have these fantastic caregivers. And if you are listening in today and you are one of those people, or you know somebody that has that caring spirit that wants to make a difference in somebody's life, there are so many older adults in our communities that are living in isolation. They're living in the confines of their home that just need some assistance to be able to make a difference in their life. An extra pair of hands, eyes, ears, the ability to maybe assist them to get bathed, assist them in getting dressed, and assisting them to take them to doctor's appointments and things like that. So that's who we are, and this show is about bringing outstanding guests and guests that can really contribute to the conversation that we have here about health futures. And today's no different. I have a return guest, or should I say guests. Today I have Envoy America in the house, and I've got Casey Kanaan and Andy Beran. They're the principals, and they were here on the show about 8 months ago. And they're a young company. Back then they were just a couple months old. I don't think they're quite a year old yet, but I've invited them in because they are doing not only phenomenal things in our community, but they're providing an incredible service, and they're enabling people that are living in that isolation that I talked about, be able to get them to their appointments and get them to the locations that they need to get to, because as we know, it's very difficult for seniors to get from point A to point B. So, gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you, Bob.
It's good to have you back. And, we talked about aging in place. And, I think that is the overwhelming desire by our older adult population. And what does that mean? It means that they want to be able to stay in their home. And Andy, I know you and I got a chance to talk about it prior to the show. I'd love for you to contribute some of the information that you have found and discovered in your research about aging in place. And really, that was the impetus for you to create this company called Envoy America, which does transportation for our older adult population.
Absolutely. And you did a great job of describing kind of the situation that faces many seniors as they age in terms of living at home and also the additional help that's required in order to be able to do that. Aging in place is something that basically we all want, and we all look forward to having the freedom to make that decision. Our data shows, or census data shows actually, that for people 55 years and older, their rate of change, of changing residences, of moving, drops fairly dramatically, to the point where only maybe 5% of the population at that age and older is moving or changing residences each year. That number reflects the desire that people have to remain in their homes, and that requires something from us. And the reason, as you said, Envoy America was created. In order to live at home, among other things, you need the help to get around. Our data also shows that 20% of people age 65 and older no longer drive for whatever reason. And it's not just that, Bob, but it's not just that they're not driving, but even more so that the times of day that they're willing to drive is more limited. You and I know that it gets harder and harder to drive in the evening and at night. Certainly it's scary in the Phoenix area to be driving during rush hour. Traffic, parking, congestion, everything else. And yet, in order to remain in your home and living at home, you do need the ability to get around. So what Envoy America does is tries to fill that gap.
And getting around is so important for our older adults. And, you know, the people that are listening into the show, a lot of them are the adult children. And one of the things that they're challenged with, and we know this firsthand, is that they find themselves as caregivers, and they also find themselves in a sandwich generation where they're providing for their own families and they have their own work and work lives. And one of the things that's really daunting is the amount of hours, work hours, that the adult children are missing because of the needs that their parents have. So if a parent has, an older adult has a doctor's appointment, this adult child would have to miss part of work so they could take them to the doctor's appointment. This is something that Envoy America does, correct?
Absolutely, Bob. That's one of the services we provide, is to replicate what a son or daughter would do for their mom, dad, or a loved one. So we come to their home, we come to their door, accompany them to their doctor visit, stay with them. If the appointment takes 5 minutes or an hour, 5 minutes, we're still there. We can take them to a pharmacy to pick up their prescription or lab to do additional work, and then take them home. Maybe stop at a Safeway or Fry's on the way back, pick up some milk or bread, and bring them home. So it's exactly what a son, daughter would do for their loved ones, and that's what we do.
No, and that's an incredible service. And, you know, what's interesting in the state of Arizona, and I will tell you, I think many people realize this, is when you go to get your license, if you're in your 30s like I was when I first moved here to the Valley, expires when you're 65 years old. So the crazy thing is that you'll get a license that'll be valid for 30-some-odd years, although the Department of Motor Vehicles has gotten a little bit better about that because they send you notices that you got to renew your license a little bit sooner than those 30 years. But, you know, the challenge that we have is that we have people that can drive, that know that they can't drive, but we also have people that are driving who shouldn't be driving, right? I mean, that's one of the challenges we have in our community, is that we have people that, you know, may or should not be behind the wheel because they are impaired by an illness or maybe even the medications that they're taking. And services like Envoy are very, very important to have. I'll tell you what, it's hard to believe it. Time just flies. We're down our first segment, and we got 3 more. So I want you to stick around. If you're listening in, I have got Envoy America here in the house. I got Casey Kanaan and Andy Beran and myself here with you. We're talking about aging in place, and we're more importantly talking about how we can get our older adult population from A to B, and as you said, Casey, back to A. So we're up against a break. You're listening to Health Futures. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is David Sears with Secure Estate Services, Retirement and Estate Planning Specialist. Getting your wills, living trusts, and powers of attorney completed is one of the easiest things to put off. There are many reasons. It's too complicated. It's too expensive. I don't understand what I really need to protect me or my family. At Secure Estate Services, we've made estate and retirement planning as painless and enjoyable as possible. We provide a complimentary consultation to explain the various options available. Do you need a living trust to avoid probate? Or will a last will and testament with proper beneficiary designations suffice? What should you do with that old 401k? Will you have enough for a comfortable retirement? A relaxed conversation in our comfortable Scottsdale office will quickly provide valuable information that will help you make good decisions. For a complimentary consultation, call us at 480-664-1515. That's 480-664-1515. Learn just how easy it is to get your financial house in good order.
Money Radio listeners know how to protect their investments, but did you know the average American spends almost 4% of their income on clothing each year? How do you protect that investment? With Z Cleaners, Arizona's finest dry cleaning company. Z Cleaners protects your wardrobe investment with fail-safe methods for garment cleaning so that they last longer and look better. Their clients are professionals, decision makers, and business owners like you who are experts in your fields. And Z Cleaners is the garment care experts in the Phoenix area. If you're looking for a dry cleaning and laundry service you can count on Z Cleaners. Prompt, dependable, and trustworthy with free pickup and delivery to your home or office in select areas. Call today at 602-CLEANER. That's 602-CLEANER, 602-253-2637. Or visit them online at zcleaners.com. Mention Money15 and get 15% off your first month's dry cleaning and laundry needs.
LiveWatch helps you connect and respond up to 10 times faster in an emergency. LiveWatch has no long-term contracts. Save up to 50% off home security. Call 855-LiveWatch or visit livewatch.com.
Now back to Health Futures, taking stock in you. If you have questions about your own or your loved one's future health care, call 602-264-8009. Now, here's your host, Cypress Home Care Solutions, Bob Roth.
Welcome back. This is Bob Roth. You are listening to Health Futures, taking stock in you. And if you're just tuning in, we're on our second segment. I've got Envoy America in the studio. Who is Envoy America? So I want to make sure people understand this. This is a company that provides transportation services for seniors. And the owners are Casey Kanaan and Andy Beran, and these guys have a really long partnership, a business partnership that goes beyond this. You guys were together working for this little company.
Kindergarten, actually.
Kindergarten. Okay, kindergarten. You guys are brothers from a different mother. I know that, but you guys worked for that company. They used to have that jingle, what, doo-doo-doo, right? However it went. But they have offices in Chandler. It's called Intel. You guys both cut your teeth there, and that's where you guys met, correct?
Exactly. We met roughly 20 years ago at Intel.
In Intel. And both of you guys, look, you guys are pretty smart people, and it'd be pretty smart to work over there. I'm assuming you're engineers. Tell me what your backgrounds are.
So, no, not engineers. I took my first physics course in college, and that's when my engineering career ended.
Began and ended.
Began and ended. No, we were both on the business side. I was in finance, and at the time we met, actually in marketing and strategic planning.
Nice.
I am an engineer by education, but like Andy said, I never worked in engineering. I've always been on the business marketing side.
And I've seen that side of you with Envoy America. This company was born when? When's your anniversary date?
We started the business in May last year. However, that was when we started forming the company and refining the idea. Officially, I'd say October, November timeframe. That's when we really started putting 200% effort in this company.
It was right after you were on our show. I mean, the listening audience must have really...
We were still in our beta period,
right?
When you had us on the show, and we had just begun carrying passengers for the first time, and now we're in high volume production, if you will.
Well, I want to get back to some of the things we talked about in a couple minutes, because we talked about, the fact that we want people want to age in place, and we talked about driving, especially about our older adults driving. But let's talk about, let's get down to the nuts and bolts about what Envoy America is and what is your purpose. And again, there are other solutions out there. Obviously, cabs are out there, and there's some of these disruptive technologies like Uber and Lyft. Talk to me a little bit about Envoy and its purpose in our community.
Sure. I'd like to answer your question, Bob, by telling you why did we start this company. Both Andy and I are adult children. Our parents are seniors that started losing their ability to drive. They didn't want to drive, couldn't drive. Their life evolved around going from this doctor's visit to another place, and there was no viable solution for them. There's a lot of other options, from using a taxi, dial-a-ride, relying on volunteers, Uber, Lyft, like you said, but none of these solutions are designed for seniors. So take, for example, if somebody wants to go to a doctor, you have to wait outside at the curb to wait for a taxi, and they don't guarantee, if you say, I want somebody there at 10 o'clock, there's no guarantee that they can be there at 10 o'clock. So the senior has to call the taxi 1 to 2 hours ahead of time to make sure that the taxi's there and they get to their doctor visit on time. They get to the doctor visit, the visit could last 5 minutes, hour, 5 minutes, and the doctor says, you know what, I need to change your prescription, or I need you to go to the lab to do some lab work. Now the senior has to call for a taxi again. They have to wait. It could be 5 minutes. It could be another hour before a taxi shows up, and they're waiting outside in the element. So they get to the lab. They finish their lab work. Now they have to go home, and that a typical trip.
That's exhausting. Just hearing you describe it is exhausting.
It's not just it is exhausting, but it's also expensive.
Exactly.
So we looked for solutions that would work for people like our parents, and we couldn't find anything. So we went and created this company. And like Andy said, it's been a blast. We're in high volume production now. We do several tens of trips a day,
right?
And we're serving hundreds of clients
a week. You were telling me the numbers are staggering. What you're doing.
We've been also very fortunate that large organizations, nonprofit organizations, religious organizations, that they've heard about the great service that our team does, and they reached out to us, and we did pilots with them, and we won their business. So that caused the business to explode.
I talked at the top of the show, talked about our company, Cypress, and I talked about our people. And people make our organization. I mean, caregivers are really the ones that are making a difference in the lives of so many of our older adults out there that we're caring for. And it's hiring the right people. And I would imagine, I would love to hear from either one of you guys, talk about the type of people you hire, because when you're dealing with the older adults that we deal with, we have to be respectful and we have to be polite. You have to be able to speak English and speak it clearly and understand it. So there are requirements that you have too, and certainly you want to make sure that they're dressed adequately. And when I say adequately, I mean, I said it was going to be 100 degrees today. I mean, our version of dress, especially our older adults, is very different than the younger generation today. So we want to make sure they're dressed properly, and the things that people do to their bodies today with body piercing and tattoos and stuff can be very intimidating for our older adults too. So I'd love for you to talk about your people, because like Cypress, I would imagine Envoy America, it's about your people that you employ.
The people make all the difference. You're absolutely right, Bob. And we start the process very early. We are very specific in the way we source our candidates, the way we interview them, the way we background check them, and the way we go through the whole selection process. We're looking for people that are not only obviously safe drivers with impeccable driving records, that almost goes without saying, and are drug-free and alcohol-free and all of the basic things that you would expect. But even more than that, we're looking for really two things. We're looking for empathy. We're looking for people that have personal experience and knowledge of helping seniors and elderly people. It's not something that comes naturally to everyone. It requires a specific skill set and, as I said, a level of empathy. Beyond that, we can train. So we train them and we certify them for the specific skills that we're looking for and we require in safely moving people around all over the city. So that can be everything from helping somebody transfer, say, from a wheelchair into a vehicle, to maybe addressing things like communication with seniors, first-level medical assistance, or knowing how to react in the case of an emergency. All those kinds of things are skills that we help develop among our driver companion team.
That's amazing. I'm going to cut to the chase here, because I know our listening audience, first of all, they'll want to know how to get a hold of you. So the best way to get a hold of you, I have down, and correct me if I'm wrong, is envoyamerica.com. And that's a very interactive website, so there's a lot of information up there about you guys. And also, it is phone number 602-687-6345.
Correct.
And that's for reservations or customer service.
And we do answer the phone 24/7. Live person will answer the phone.
Perfect. No, and that's what our older adult population would like to hear. And certainly you answer the phone 24/7. Are you transporting a limited hours, or if somebody needed a transport at 11 o'clock at night, midnight, is that something you guys do as well?
Absolutely. Our service is 24/7 year-round. All we ask for is you give us at least 1 day advance notice, and we will take care of you and we'll take care of your loved ones.
And my last question is, are you guys expensive? That's something that I really would like to know.
Absolutely. That is a great question, Bob. And the way, again, I'd like to answer this is the two large nonprofit organizations in one of them is a national company that was looking for a partner to do their transportation in the area, and they ran a test with us, and by far we provided great service, but we saved them about 20-25% compared to other people.
You're listening to Health Futures. We're going to talk more about this when we get back. My name is Bob Roth. We're up against a break. We'll be right back.
To reach the bottom of the hour, we pause for a look at the world's news. Then we're back with Money Talk. We're Money Radio 1510 and 99.3 FM.
Texas Republicans will consider a resolution that would let the Lone Star State break free from the United States. A session has promised to introduce an amendment at the Texas GOP convention. Congress holding a hearing this afternoon on concussions in youth sports to focus on prevention and research. Dr. Andrew Gregory with the Medical Advisory Committee of USA Football.
We have these databases in college and high school, and we don't have them in youth sports. And so establishing a database for youth sports injury, I think, is imperative.
Americans are back to spending their money.
Retail sales climbed 1.3% last month. That's after a drop in the previous month that was fueled by declining automotive sales. But car buying recovered in April. Sales there jumped 3.2%, and online purchases escalated by 2.1%. From gas stations to grocers, retailers saw their sales increase. Jan Johnson, Washington.
Wall Street not impressed. Stocks down across the boards. The Dow off 172. I'm Michael Toscano.
Kid, if something in this facility breaks, bends, or bursts, Grainger's got our back. 20 cases of disc springs from Grainger.com, new rotary encoder ordered on Grainger's mobile app, a dozen splash goggles from the local Grainger branch. What more could you want in life? Grainger has over 1 million products for all our facilities' needs. 1 million. That's a 1 followed by 6 zeros, kid. Everything we need whenever we need it. Get it? Got it? Good. Call, click Grainger.com, or stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is Charles Osgood. Dell is proud to support small businesses with reliable, award-winning technology powered by Intel core processors and created to give your business 4 times faster performance and cut downtime by 50%. During Small Business Month, enjoy 35% off select business PCs and get free shipping and advice from Dell's dedicated experts. Visit Dell.com/radio to discover how they can help you to do your best work. Intel inside, powerful solution outside.
Send him a text with your questions, and he'll answer it on the air. It's Rob Booker with the new Booker Report. Weekdays at 3 p.m. on Money Radio.
You have to decide, am I willing to get in right now? Is the world over? Is the good world over? Is it going to crash?
Miss your chance to ask Del a question during the show? You can connect with Del off the air, too. Go to DellOnTheRadio.com, click on the Twitter link, and ask your question. Hashtag AskDel.
I believe that a good teacher has the skill set to be able to bring people through multiple levels of learning that are completely different from one another.
Have a comment for Del instead? Use hashtag TellDel.
It's tough to predict the financial challenges you might be faced with on your road to retirement. So how do you protect yourself and prepare for the future? The team at Netzel Financial is dedicated to helping you achieve the financial freedom you deserve. Haven't you earned the right to rest assured that you and your family are taken care of? Netzel Financial is a unique and independent firm that's here to protect your principal, all while you generate income using an endowment approach with a customized portfolio. You spent your whole life working hard for your money. Isn't it time your money started working hard for you? Call Netzel Financial today at 480-219-0657. 480-219-0657. Or visit Netzel Financial to set up your free financial review. NetzelFinancial.com, here to help. Securities offered through Kalos Capital Incorporated. Netzel Financial is not affiliated nor a subsidiary of Kalos Capital Incorporated. Netzel Financial and Kalos Capital Incorporated do not provide tax or legal advice. Please consult with your tax and or legal advisor for such guidance.
Well, hello, Ronald Reagan here, and I want you to know I listen every Thursday at, 9 a.m. to David Kogan, host of Heroes in Business. Our lineup this week is...
We have the Scorpion from CBS TV show of the same name. We also have a fitness guru with 5 million followers and one of the most influential CEOs in the world and the founder and CEO of FreshBooks.
That's right, David Kogan every Thursday at 9 a.m.
Here Maps, the free app that helps you beat the jam with live traffic info and public transit schedules. Get it now at here.com/commute.
I'm Bruce Vail with Your Money Now. Food distributor U.S. Foods said it expects to raise about $1 billion through an initial public offering of stock and would use the proceeds to pay back some of its debt. The company said it is applying to have its stock listed on the New York Stock Exchange. General Motors has closed on its acquisition of Cruise Automation, a Silicon Valley company developing self-driving car technology. GM announced the deal in March, saying it would acquire Cruise to accelerate its efforts to develop autonomous vehicles. Cruise software will be part of a self-driving taxi pilot program run by GM and the ride-hailing service Lyft. GM shares are down 2% today, along with the broader market declines. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is down 166 points. The Nasdaq Composite is off 17. The S&P 500 is down 16. Crude oil prices settled today at $46.21 a barrel. That's Your Money Now.
Hey, Lucy, you're the CFO of this company.
That's why you pay me.
We need a better way to manage our expenses.
Concur.
Automated expense reports.
Concur.
Faster invoice processing, timely financial data, a whole system that helps us make better decisions around how we spend our money.
Concur.
While I appreciate your enthusiasm, I'm actually looking for ideas, not agreement.
That's why we're getting Concur for expense, travel, and invoice. Everything you described scaled perfectly to our business, and it's surprisingly cost-effective.
Lucy, you're a genius.
I concur.
Expense, travel, invoice. Learn more at concur.com.
This is an alert. If your business or church is building this year, you're about to pay more than you should. This could mean thousands of dollars more for your office, retail space, church, or warehouse. A General Steel building can save you as much as half the cost and time of similar conventional construction. And we're offering rebates of up to $20,000 to help you build today. Call General Steel for free information that could save you thousands. Call 866-95-STEEL. 866-95-STEEL. That's 866-95-STEEL.
Now back to Health Futures, taking stock in you. If you have questions about your own or your loved one's future health care, call 602-264-8009. Now, here's your host, Cypress Home Care Solutions, Bob Roth.
Welcome back. My name is Bob Roth, and I'm your host of Health Futures, taking stock in you. If you're just tuning in, we're on our third segment. And I've got in the studio Envoy America. They're a transportation service company for seniors. And if you missed the first two segments, you can catch them right up on our website at cypresshomecare.com. And I've got a button up on the top, and halfway down that's a radio button. You can catch this segment as well as the two others prior to it, and you can catch about 100 other episodes we've been bringing to you for the last 3 years. So when we took a break, Casey Kanaan was talking about pricing, and we were talking about, how, you have had success with some partnerships with the not-for-profit. So I want you to just expand a little bit more on that.
Sure. Both are large nonprofit. One of them is a national company that provides or pays for transportation for patients to go to treatment. And they ran a trial with us, and the conclusion was not only our service is much, much better than what's out there, but we were able to save them roughly 25% on their cost.
Wow.
So what we charge is $39 per hour,
Mm-hmm.
and if somebody's using us on a regular basis, they can get a subscription.
Thank you.
Absolutely, and that obviously will save them a little bit of money. So we the clock starts when our driver comes to the house. We stay with them and we take good care of them. But if you look at it, if somebody's traveling from Scottsdale to Mesa or Tempe, it's roughly 20 miles to go to an appointment. A taxi will charge approximately $50 each way to get to the 20-mile trip. And then you have to wait, again, an hour, half an hour for the taxi to come back. So by the time you get home, it's about a $100 trip. For us, even if it takes 2 hours, it's still $78, less expensive than having to pay for a taxi. You don't know who's coming, what time they're coming, how they're going to help you. To elaborate, and Andy mentioned all the drivers are trained, certified. They'll treat you like they would treat their mom or dad. So we provide great service, and we save you money.
Quick question for you. A couple things. First of all, and I know this about Envoy America, is that you don't exactly, like a taxi cab, just drop them off, especially with our aging adult population. They might have a wheelchair, they might have a walker, they might have some type of assisted device, but you're not just dropping them off at the corner. And I've heard you say this before, both of you guys say this, is that you'll take them all the way up to the door. You'll help them get into their home. Is that correct?
Absolutely, Bob. You're absolutely right. As a matter of fact, there are 5 attributes that differentiate us from other transportation providers. one of which, as you said, is door-to-door transportation. So when we arrive at a passenger's home, we are at the door, knocking on the door. Hello, Mrs. S. We're here to take you where you need to go. We help them into the vehicle and continue. All our reservations are made in advance, so you don't need to worry about whether there's going to be a vehicle available. It's not like calling a taxi or using a smartphone complicated app for something like Uber or Lyft. You call us when you know you have an appointment. We mark it down. We'll send you a reminder that we're coming the next day. We communicate constantly. We make multiple stops. So you want to go to the doctor, then the pharmacy, then the grocery, and then home again? Absolutely. And we provide extra assistance along the way. So if you are going shopping and you do have some bags to carry, not a worry. We'll take them and bring them into your home for you.
See, that's the piece I wanted you to share, because I knew that that's one of the things that you do that's so unique and different, and that is because we know our older adult population needs some additional assistance. It's not just like dropping them off. So you can help them get to the doctor's appointment. You can help them get to dialysis. You can help them get back into their home. Those are really, really key things. Let me talk about the money thing real quick, because we haven't really talked about this. Is cash exchanged? Are you doing this on credit cards? Are you doing this on billing accounts? And gratuity, is that included? I mean, we think about all those things, and I'm sure our listening audience is thinking about that as well.
Absolutely. Nope. Our pricing is about as simple as it could be. When you call and make a reservation, we do take a credit card number. Maybe you're calling, the senior's calling, maybe an adult child is calling, or maybe the facility is calling. Either way, we have an account. We have a credit card on the account. And no money ever changes hands during the trip.
Love that.
No gratuities, no surge pricing, no surprise charges, no nothing.
You mean when the Super Bowl's here, you're not going to charge 4 or 5 times more like those disruptive technologies do?
Absolutely not. And as a matter of fact, if you don't mind me saying so, we are so proud of our service that we'd like to offer a special to anybody listening this morning. And Casey, do you want to?
Absolutely. If they mention when they call our number that they've heard us on Bob's show, Bob Roth, Money Radio 1510, we will give them a 50% off their first trip so they can try the service, see how well our driver team does, and we'll take good care of them.
That's wonderful. Absolutely. And if you're listening in and you are one of those adult children that I talked about in the first segment that is challenged with doing your work, providing for your family, and you have an older adult that needs to get to a doctor's appointment, needs to get into a treatment center, needs to go anywhere, give Envoy a call. And also, just even going to the store. I mean, I think that's beautiful. Thank you very much for offering that to our listening audience.
Absolutely. Again, just mention that you've heard us on Bob's show, Money Radio 1510, and we will give you 50% off your first trip.
All right. Well, thank you, guys. We were talking about all the different solutions out there, and one of the things that is happening here in our valley is, we were made aware at the beginning of the year that Google was infiltrating our valley with these self-driving vehicles. There's a lot of technology out there. The Hyperloop, I think it's called, was tested this week. I mean, the thought of being able to transport people at 700 miles an hour from point A to point B is pretty exciting, but I'm not sure it's realistic that we're going to see that in the very, very near future.
We try and keep it under the speed limit in general, but no, it's interesting. The world is always moving towards more technology and lower cost, and often that translates to lower service levels. Envoy America is a bit of a throwback. We believe in old-fashioned customer service. Everything we do is personalized. It's all one-on-one. We are really positioning ourselves as a service provider for the older adult, for the seniors, so that especially when you talk about adult children, that we can provide the peace of mind for you to know that your mom or dad is getting where they need to go safely, reliably, and affordably.
And with somebody that's really been checked out. I mean, I'm not here to disparage any of the others that are providing these types of transportations, but I know you guys, and you guys are thoroughly background checking and verifying people's licenses and stuff like that to transport our vulnerable adults, and that's real important.
You're absolutely right, Bob. Everything starts with a face-to-face interview. We don't ask somebody to just complete an application and everything is done online. No, we meet with the person. We look them in the eye. We look at them and see if we would feel comfortable having them drive our parents. And then if they pass that step, then we do the reference checking, the background screening, the drug testing to make sure that they are who they are.
Well, that's, you sound like a home care agency, because that's the kind of stuff we do. And you know what? I know we're up against a break, but Andy, you hit the nail on the head. It's service. And this generation, the greatest generation, is accustomed to service, and we, as the legacy, it's incumbent upon us to make sure that they get great service. So hats off to you and what you've created. We're down 3 segments. We got one more to go. Please tune back into us. We're up against a break. My name's Bob Roth. You're listening to Health Futures. I got Envoy America in the studio. They're a transportation service for seniors. We'll be right back.
Women face enormous challenges on the road to a secure retirement. Women may leave their career to care for children or an elderly parent, impacting our Social Security benefits and our retirement accounts. Not to mention, we live longer. What might this mean for you? A substantial shortfall in retirement. Do you know that for every $100 men save, women must save $126? You must have a plan for retirement. Call me, Nancy Fleming. I'm a certified financial planner, and I can help you with your retirement. At some point, 90% of women will be in charge of all finances, savings, investment decisions, retirement income planning, and possibly inheritance planning. Let me help you create a retirement plan at 480-632-8770. That's 480-632-8770.
Fleming Financial Services, Inc. is a registered investment advisor offering advisory services in the state of Arizona and in other jurisdictions where exempt registrations does not imply a certain level of skill or training.
Who do dry cleaners in the Valley call when they have a stain they can't get out? Or they have a special garment that needs care that they're not trained to provide? I'm Steve Phillips, owner of Z Cleaners, and they call me. Z Cleaners has been inspected and is recognized as one of America's best cleaners every year since 2004 and is Arizona's only certified couture care specialist. We get referrals from other cleaners in the Valley almost every week because our staff is trained in the latest technology and practices in stain removal. At Z Cleaners, couture items are cleaned and processed by hand. That's an important consideration when you're looking for a dry cleaner to care for your designer clothing. Give us a call today, 602-CLEANER. That's 602-253-2637, 602-CLEANER. Or find us on the web at zcleaners.com. Remember, choose the dry cleaner other cleaners choose, and that's Z Cleaners.
Mention Money15 and get 15% off your first month's dry cleaning and laundry needs.
Here Maps. Hit the open road with free offline turn-by-turn guidance that works anywhere. Get it for your phone at here.com/offline.
Now back to Health Futures, taking stock in you. If you have questions about your own or your loved one's future health care, call 602-264-8009. Now, here's your host, Cypress Home Care Solutions, Bob Roth.
Welcome back. You're listening to Health Futures. I'm your host, Bob Roth, and I've got Andy Beran and Casey Kanaan from Envoy America, and they provide a transportation service for our senior population right here in Maricopa County. And if you missed the first 3 segments, you can catch them right up on our website at cypresshomecare.com. Click on the radio button up on the top or halfway down. You can catch this whole show, as well as you can catch about 100 others we've been bringing to you for the last 3 years. I mentioned Maricopa County, and I want to talk about the geographic area that you cover. What do you cover?
We cover the entire valley.
Okay.
From Goodyear all the way to Apache Junction and Chandler, Mesa, Tempe, Scottsdale, obviously, North Phoenix. So we cover the valley, the entire valley.
Nice. And, this older adult population is going to continue to grow. I mean, just to give you some Arizona state numbers, presently we have approximately 1 million people that are living here in the state of Arizona that are 65 and older. And the number is just going to continue to grow. By 2050, that number is going to be more than 2 million people, and it's going to represent over 20% of our population. And moving people from one point to the next is something that we really need to do. The challenge that we have in the Maricopa County region that we live in is this is such a sprawling demographic. And I know that you guys, we've talked about it before, you have plans to go to other markets. But how different markets like Detroit and Chicago, are those some of the markets? But I'm just describing them, as you smile, whether it be, Philadelphia or Baltimore or D.C., I mean, those are more denser populations, and it's easier to move people from point A to point B. It's tough here.
It is. Envoy America will be a national company. We're raising funds right now to begin the expansion outside the Valley of the Sun area. Actually, the Detroit and Chicago metropolitan areas are very high on our list, primarily because of the demographics and the number of seniors that are there, along with the poor transportation options that they're faced with. It's interesting, Bob. You're actually an expert in this area, taking the keys away from seniors. We've all read your article, and your insights are pretty amazing. It's a very tough situation. It's an evolution that we all go through. It happens all across the country. The same dynamics are here in Arizona as they are in the Midwest, the East Coast, and the West Coast. And what we're trying to do is build a single solution that's available to people in these circumstances all across the country.
The article that Andy's talking about is an article that I wrote for the Jewish News of Greater Phoenix, and I also wrote it for Love and Life After 50. And, it's interesting because I don't think we've ever had an older adult come home one day and pick, tell their spouse or tell their children, you know what, you need to take the keys away from me. And I wrote this in our article because I really shouldn't be driving anymore. But the challenge we have is that we have, vision issues that, we've talked about. We have physical ability issues. We got disease issues. And really one of the biggest ones is medications. Our older adults are taking powerful medications. And it's a real challenge for us as adult children to be able to tell our loved ones that, you know what, it's time no longer to drive.
Especially when what follows next is a period of isolation, a loss of independence, often depression, and other manifestations that arise from not being able to drive oneself. As a matter of fact, we were talking earlier about a study that was done by AARP where seniors age 65 and older who no longer drive make 15% fewer trips to the doctor. Just imagine that. So suddenly you're not making it to the appointments you need to maintain your health. You're 59% fewer trips to shop or eat. 65% fewer trips to visit friends and family.
There's that isolation right there. 65% less trips to see friends and family. And, it's something that we have taken for granted. Independence is part of, driving. I mean, being able to get, into your car, driving from point A to point B. It's the American dream, and we've all lived it. So it's really, really hard on our older adult population. Andy, I want to build on something because we're on Money Radio. And trust me, we're talking to our adult children out there right now. They say the population base that skews and listens to our show is somewhere between 35 and 65, the primary population base. they are more than likely caring for a loved one or have a loved one that is aging and fits this demographic. You talked about your expansion plans. Can you tell me a little bit more? Are you franchising? Are you licensing? Are you raising capital? I mean, all of the above. What are you doing?
Sure. I'd be happy to get into a little bit more of the detail. The way Envoy America is structured is we have a headquarters organization. It takes care of national branding. It takes care of the call center operations, accounts receivable, accounts payable, the bookkeeping aspects of it. And then since transportation is what we call a hyper-local activity, you need to know the passengers in detail. You need to know your customers. And so we are organized to have each geography supported by a local organization, a general manager, customer service, dispatch, all supported under the umbrella of the technology provided by the Headquarters Association.
And the one other piece, is building those relationships in the community. I mean, having somebody there, whether it be Detroit and Chicago, and out there marketing, talking about the virtues and the offerings that you have and Envoy America offers.
Right, exactly, absolutely.
And I love the name Envoy America. Covers the entire country. And if you're just listening in right now, Casey, you made an offer before. Can you repeat that for our listening audience?
Absolutely. If you call us and you would like to try the service, if you mention that you've heard us on Bob's show, Money Radio 1510, we will give you a 50% off your first trip. Give us a call, mention Bob's name, and we'll take good care of you.
And you know what? The trial is a great way to get a familiar experience with this. I mean, for $39, so now you're talking about half of that. So less than $19 or $19.50, whatever it is. You can use this service, test it out, and see for yourself what they're all about. So how does one get a hold of Envoy America? Because, Andy, you did tell me there's an 800 number as well.
Right. We actually have an 800 given our national footprint. So our 800 number is 888-375-5558. You can also reach us on the internet at www.envoyamerica.com. We do accept reservations over the internet, but the easiest way to do it is give us a call.
Well, it's interesting, and I know we're concluding our show, but it's customer service. And that's what this adult population is used to, and that's what they deserve. You provide a great need and a great service for a need. You fill a need that our community desperately needs. It's hard to believe we're done. You've been listening to Health Futures, taking stock in you. Make it a great day. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, Bob.
There's no place like home. You've been listening to Bob Roth's Health Futures. If you have questions about your own or your loved one's future health care, call Cypress Home Care Solutions at 602-264-8009. That's 602-264-8009. Or visit CypressHomeCare.com. Be sure to join Health Futures with Bob Roth every Friday at noon, right here on Money Radio 1510 and 99.3 FM.
Market Wrap with Mo Ansari is your daily source for financial news and analysis. With over 30 years of trading experience, Mo shares his thoughts on the markets, answers your financial questions, and features guest experts from around the world covering a variety of investment topics. Visit MarketWrapWithMo.com for more info about the show and listen to Market Wrap with Mo Ansari.
And 99.3 FM.
Is KFNN Mesa Phoenix and K257 CD Phoenix. Win some free food from Miracle Mile Deli next Monday, Wednesday, and Friday as you play Stump the Chops at 6:50 on the Business for Breakfast show. Right now, the Dow is down 182 points, the NASDAQ is down 19, and the S&P 500 down 17 points.
When people want to talk about money, this is the place they come to. And there's more on the way after this break for the latest news. And we begin now.